So it's been 6 months that I've used the world's most minimal case, the Arc Pulse, on my iPhone 16 Pro Max. Now, of course, I have a ton of other cases. As you guys know, I do a bunch of accessory reviews, so I'm always switching cases back and forth, but I find myself going back to this a lot. I put this through its pace, and is it something that I can recommend to my audience, to you guys, after 6 months of heavily using this thing? Is it something that you can go out and spend all your money on? Should you go ahead and buy it? Well, we'll find out at the end of this video what I think about it after 6 months. Now, if you want to see my full review of this case, the Arc Pulse, I'll leave that at the end of this video. I did do a full review going over everything with this, so that'll be right there. But let's go ahead and take a look at how this thing at least has held up after 6 months. So, taking a look, this is my Arc Pulse. I've had this since Arc originally sent me this case, and I've been using it a lot. Now, one thing you guys can see is this thing has a polished material. This is going to be the graphite color on my natural titanium 16 Pro Max, so it's going to be a polished version. Now, they do have a matte one, which is really only a matte black one. That's actually the cheapest version of it, so if you're worried about like fingerprints or little micro scratches, that may be the one for you. But this is going to be that graphite version. Now, just seeing how it held up over time, of course, there are very slight... Let's actually wipe this down real quick. I guess I should have did that before starting the video. But wiping this thing down, there are very, very faint... You can't even really see them on camera too well. But there are very faint micro scratches on here. As you guys can see, this is the biggest like scratch that I have on there right there. On this side, you have a little bit of scratching right there. And of course, the biggest culprit are going to be the edges of it, because that's how you're setting this thing down, right? Whether you set it face down like this or you set it on its back, that is how you're setting it down most of the time. So that's kind of going to be the biggest quote unquote problem areas. But as you guys can see, for the most part of actually using this thing, it has held up pretty well. Now, actually using it, like I said, of course, I use a bunch of cases. But when I'm using this, I don't baby my phone. I never baby my phone with any of my cases, because I want to know how those cases are holding up, how it works. Is there problem areas? Are there anything that I should let you guys know about? Because you guys go out and spend your hard-earned money on these products. So I want to make sure I hold the company accountable, and I want to make sure that I show you guys a product, whether it's good or bad, to make sure that you know exactly what you're getting into before you hit that checkout button and get one for yourself. So overall, this thing has held up pretty well. Taking a look at my phone, I don't really have too much scratching going on the phone really at all. Now, the inside of this case, as you guys know if you've seen my full review, it does have silicone on the inside. Let's actually take this off so I can show you guys how it looks, how it's been holding up, and how the phone looks. So just, let me, clear off the phone of any dust. I've been using this for the last few days actually, and as you guys can see, it doesn't even scratch up the corners or anything of the phone. Putting the case on and off, you will have no issues when it comes to any kind of scratching on there, because they really do come out with some really good design products. So when you do put it on, it's of course not going to scratch up your phone at all. It's just a nice, smooth kind of transition onto the phone. Very easy, no real rough sounds or scratches. Oh, dropped that. So there you go, a little drop test on the case. But once you put it on, everything is on there super nice and tight still to this day. And the good news is it doesn't just slide off. Like I can sit here and, give it some pushes, all that. You do have to give it a little bit of force for that to start coming off. And then for it to come on, it's on there. And once it's on there, it is not coming off unless you want it to come off. So let's talk about the pros and the cons of a case like this. For somebody like you who's interested maybe in it, you want to see how it is, and you want to know, is it worth the money? Because this thing has a little bit of a high price tag. It starts at like $69.99 and goes all the way up to $299.99, depending on the material and the color that you get. The one that I am using is $99.99. It is that graphite color. And I do have a discount code that I'll make sure I leave down there as well for you. But all around pros and cons, right? So the pros of it is, of course, you get the naked feel of your phone. Everywhere you grab this thing, you feel like you're not using a case. Even when you're holding it like this at the bottom, when you're on the phone and talking, you just feel these nice, smooth edges right here. They're very smooth, feel really, really good in the palm of your hand. No complaints about the feel. The fit on this, like I showed you guys, is very, very good. I've never had this case come off before when I didn't want it to. When I'm pulling it off, I pull it off gently, but I give it some force and it does come off. Everything is really, really good as far as the fit. doesn't rattle, not loose at all. So everything, even after 6 months, has been holding up very, very well. Now, this is my first time getting one that's glossy. In my opinion, I do prefer a matte one just because it's a little bit better with like fingerprints and micro scratches, but with a glossy one, I think this looks amazing with the natural titanium 16 Pro Max. It looks very, very good. But the most important thing is that it's going to protect your phone. It keeps everything very nice, very clean on the phone. Of course, if you put other stuff in your pockets or if you are really reckless with your phone, will you get scratches on the side of your phone? Yeah, most likely, but that has nothing really to do with the case because the case does do exactly what it's designed to do. It is meant to drop really on any edge however you want, like this, like that, up, down, left, right, doesn't really matter. And they do claim that it does give you 10 feet of drop protection, which I have seen some drop tests online before. I'm not going to do one myself because nobody's sitting here and paying for me to get a new phone if mine gets broken, but I do see, and that's with any case, but I do see a lot of drop tests online, and it holds up really, really well. Now, other pros are really just the look of this. I have gotten so many questions and compliments just when I'm out and about. Somebody will be like, hey, like, what is that? Why do you have that on your phone? What is it? I give them a quick rundown. First of all, I kind of introduce myself and I let them know that like I'm actually experienced in this. I review cases on YouTube. I do that a lot. And they're like, can I see that? And they get to it, they're really interested. Some people are kind of turned off by the price, but as I can see on my reports for a lot of people who click my links, first of all, thank you guys so much for that, for supporting the channel with those affiliate links. That always goes a huge way for content creators. But a lot of you guys love this thing. The Arc Pulse sells a lot, and it's kind of crazy to me. When I first got and joined in working with Arc, I was shocked at how many people. I thought it was really the tech people like me, like you guys who watch case reviews, are really into something like this, but even a lot of people, I see a lot of influencers online, I see a lot of things of people that actually use this. Now, even though I work with Arc, I don't work for them. They did send me for free this case. They've sent me them before, but every company I work with, they know I don't mess around. I always give an honest review. I don't care if it's even sponsored, which like I said, this video is not my original review, not sponsored at all. But at the bottom line, my integrity and my honesty to you guys is 100% my top priority, and every company that I work with knows that. Arc is no different, but I can truly say that I love this case. Anybody who I ever recommend it to, who actually goes and buys it, who's interested in a minimal case, they absolutely love it. My friends who don't like cases at all, who don't care about cases, I have a lot of friends who just get one case, they get their new phone, they get one case, they keep that one case for 2 or 3 years because they only care about having one case until they get a new phone, unless their case breaks. They get this and they absolutely love it. Whether it's for 16 Pro Max, 15 Pro Max, I have a friend who has a 14 Pro Max and they use this for their phone. I have a friend who has a 15 Plus and she loves this thing on her phone as well. So all that said goes to say this, it's a product that you actually have to try. And once you try it, most people fall in love with it. You know what you're getting yourself into. You're getting into a very minimal case, and most people who get it, they really love it. Now, let's talk about cons. And there's really only 2 cons that I can think of. One of which, of course, isn't a con necessarily of the case, but it is a con that is associated with using the case. The con that's associated with using the case is just that the phone can be a little bit slippery. Again, nothing to do with the case itself because it's just on the top and the bottom, but it's the design of the phone. However, using it, obviously you feel the naked iPhone. You feel the back, you feel the sides. The phone can be a little bit slippery, so definitely watch out for that. But the only other con is when you are using some MagSafe accessories like the battery pack, which by the way, this is the Anker 10,000 milliamp hour Qi 2 battery pack. I love this thing. This is probably my favorite battery pack. I'll leave my review for this at the end of this video again. But when it comes to using MagSafe accessories, of course they do work, but you're going to just get that gap right there because they are a little bit too big. So that's really the only con that I've experienced. Now, it still works, like I said. I can still take this, set it down on its stand. It is still charging. Everything is good. It still makes a great alignment connection with the MagSafe ring on the phone, but it's just because of this bottom bar right here that it sticks up a little bit towards the top of the phone. It kind of hangs accessories like that. There's the Anker battery pack. We can go ahead and bring over our Apple MagSafe battery pack. This one actually fits. This is one of the only MagSafe battery packs that I have that fits completely flush because of its size onto the Arc Pulse. So if you're someone who uses a little bit of a larger battery pack, that's definitely something to note, but it still works, it still connects. I use this, like I said, all the time. I use MagSafe battery packs all the time, whether just charging my phone or testing them out to review for you guys, and I really haven't had that many issues. This is my setup a lot of the time when I'm using this case, right? I'll use the Arc Pulse, and I'll use a pop socket, this is one thing that I actually use a lot, really no matter what case I'm using. This thing gets a lot of use out of me. This is the new one that has the stand built in, so you can kind of stand the pop socket up like that. But if you're someone who uses a phone grip anyways, or you're interested in one, this may be the perfect way to use this, because you can always use the phone grip if you want. If you don't want to, you want to just feel the phone itself, you can do that as well. But it really adds that extra little bit of grip to it if you want to. But again, a lot of the time, I use it just like this, and I've had no problems with it. So, all around, after 6 months, B, what are your thoughts about the Arc Pulse? Can I recommend this to you guys to go out and spend your hard-earned money? Answer is absolutely. I love the Arc Pulse. I've really enjoyed my time with it. This is one of those cases that, like, you ever hear the hypothetical question, if you had something and you had to get rid of something, what would you keep? This is one of few cases that if I had to get rid of all of my cases, there's about a list of maybe 5 of them that I would keep. This is absolutely going to be on that list. But yes, I absolutely can recommend you get the Arc Pulse. If you're interested, links are down below. But let me know what you guys think about it down in the comments below. Make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. It goes a really long way for me and allows me to make these videos for you. And if you guys want to see my full review of the Arc Pulse, I will leave that video right here. If you guys want to see that Anker MagSafe battery pack, I'll leave that right here.